Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great Wednesday night, but it's actually, Wilson, I don't know if they told you this, but for some people it's a 4-day weekend because Thursday you got to work, you guys do, but then they take Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is Labor Day, Wilson. Do you take Monday off? How come? Ah, wrong answer. It's because Wilson can't prove he's in labor. It's only for women. It's a holiday only for women. Patty was explaining it to me. I thought it was for workers, but Patty got me straight. So, folks, I got a lot of cool coins. I got some Novaros. I got 3 hand-signed, hand-numbered Marcel Mouly, who died in 2008. He was one of the founding members of Cubism, and that's coming up in a little bit. But, you know, Wilson, I think I'm going to start with? I'm going to slide right here, Wilson. Folks, I think, I could be wrong, but I think right now is some of the best time to buy foreign gold, buy coins that other people charge a fortune for, but I was smart and put these away a long time ago. I have, how many different gold coins do I have, Ashley? How many different coins? What about 10, 9? Here, I will count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I got about 10 different coins. Folks, I see things different than other people do. And I'm going to my optometrist pretty soon to get it. No, I had astigmatism. I'm joking. I see things in the economy a lot different. I don't understand how you print all this money and all hell doesn't break loose. And it starts, and everybody starts getting worried about it. And there have been different times. And one of my favorite pictures somebody caught was in the 1923, 1925 period when Germany just figured, hey, we can't afford it. Let's just keep printing money. It got to the point that you couldn't give the money away. Here are children using Weimar Republic marks as building blocks. It was worthless. And I'm not saying that's going to happen right now, but it can. Just in the French Revolution, monthly inflation. This is a French Revolution. You remember that, Wilson? You can speak French. No. How would they say "Vive la Revolution"? Just like that. Okay. In the French Revolution, monthly inflation was 143% a month. Greece, in 1944, prices doubled every 4.34 days. In Greece, got to the, by its end, there was 13,800% inflation per month. You can't do business when somebody says that $1 you gave me a month ago, now you got to go find 13,800. Germany in 1923, it was 20.9% daily price. In 1923, prices went up 20.9% daily. Prices doubled every 3.7 days. In 1914, there was 4.2 marks to the dollar. By 1923, there were 238 million marks to a dollar. Economy's dead. 1914, Germany abandoned backing the country by gold and started borrowing, and boom. The reason I'm telling you that is I pulled out some of my very own gold coins that I believe are rarer than most. And I wanted to bring them in here tonight. Wilson. What is that, Wilson? Right there. What does that look like to you? Right there. Stick with me, Wilson. What is that? Right there. You can say it, Wilson. That's a $100 bill. You can see it, right, Wilson? Yeah, okay. I know what's going through his head. Below the $100 bill is a brick. 100 hundreds is $10,000. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because here is an average height guy wearing a red shirt and blue jeans. And Wilson, you see he's standing next to right here, the top one, $1 million. Now you go down one and next to him is a pallet, $100 million. Then you come to $1 billion. That's how it looked like if they were freshly printed $100 bills. That's $1 billion. Now, you double stack those pallets, put the same individual right next to him. See him in the little end of the corner right there? In his red shirt? Yeah. That's what $1 trillion looks like of newly printed money. 1 trillion. We now owe 23 trillion. That's one. And in my humble opinion, I might be crazy, but they're not giving up. They're not changing. Nobody is. And it's not, if it was just the U.S., we could implode eventually. But no, everywhere around the world, they're going to find something to back it. And what has always worked was gold. Something that is hard to find, hard to get. Something you can divide. Now, I have some cool gold coins. Now, Ashley, where is this proof gold coin from? And what year is it? You can see it's a proof coin. 2717. Great Britain. 2001. It's 1/10 of an ounce gold. And it's a proof strike where they use twice as much pressure and wax the dies. Now I had Ashley. Oh, look at the back. That's pretty cool, Wilson. Did you ever spend much time in Britain, Wilson? In Piccadilly Circus? Yeah. Look at that. Now that is a proof coin. And how much actual gold weight? Because it's 0.77 pure gold, right?
The gold content grams is 7.77587.
7.77 587 grams. Just under 1/10 of an ounce, right? 0.91, yeah. All right. Now, what were the comps that you came across?
Quarter ounce fine gold. That says on the back, quarter ounce fine gold.
It says quarter ounce?
Yeah, quarter ounce fine gold.
This is only 1/10 of an ounce. Yeah, what price did you find on this? It's the only Great British coin I got.
The
They were selling, the best price you could find was $472. Rare 2001 proof. Hey, where did I? Want 500 bucks most places. Here, watch this. $295. I only have 2 of them. It is a very unusual coin. They didn't mint many. A lot of people get these graded and get a ton for them. I only have 2 proof coins. Yeah, they're selling them online right now for $472 as we speak. The 2001 10 pound. And I don't want that much. Well, I'd like to get that much, but this first hour, I know everybody's on the highway. They're yelling at people in front of you. All right, I have 2 of those. All right, now I'm going to jump to, I have only 1. Oh my goodness, 1999. Kitty Hawk, look at this, Wilson. Look at that. 1999 half-ounce platinum. Platinum had a good day yesterday and today. It got beat up a little bit. But this is an American platinum commemorative coin from 1999. And Ash, oh, look at this. I only touch it by the rim. There's a Statue of Liberty. Look at this. Proof strike out of Statue of Liberty on a platinum coin. Now, Ashley, on my 1999, that's what you say every time. That's what she says every time. Patty, you her. Every time she leaves, she goes, we're going to party like it's 1999. Yes. What were the comps we saw on this?
There was one up to 1,600.
Oh, proof 70 was 1,600.
Yeah, and then 1,339.99.
For an ungraded one, 1,339. Ungraded like mine. Well, folks, I want to give people a deal. On 1,613. Watch this. $800 right now. That's a proof platinum gold. It's a proof platinum coin, a half ounce from 1999. That is half of what anybody wants on eBay or anywhere else. I just want to see if anybody is home watching me, or if they're all in traffic right now threatening to kill the person in front or behind them.
Mr. S says, could he take one of the Britain coins for?
Whatever, but who wants his platinum proof coin? All right, I'm going to put this back in the flip. Now, oh, look at this. Now, Wilson, I need you to identify something about this coin, because this is a very, very rare coin. It has the export paperwork from China on one end right there. You turn that over, look what it says. It's basically, that is the paperwork. Now, Wilson, look at this coin carefully. This is a rare animal. That is a proof unicorn. Now, what I need you to identify really fast, is this a Chinese proof unicorn or a Malaysian unicorn?
Mr. S says thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Ashley, what does this proof unicorn sell for?
The proof unicorn, 2716,
2716
$520.
is what they have it online for. $520. This is a rare beast. Have you ever pet a unicorn? You've never pet a unicorn?
Nope.
Have you ever seen a unicorn?
Nope.
Has anybody tried to tell you, like get out a donkey and put a spear on his head or anything? No? All right, so everywhere they want 525. This is really rare. Hey, what? Give someone a deal of a lifetime, $225. That's half. And mine, though I cannot prove it at this time, I believe my unicorn has been domesticated. So, Patty, if you ever call my unicorn over, he will be, yes. This is a domesticated unicorn.
I don't have to worry about cleaning it up.
Yes, that is a fraction of what anybody else. Mr. S, I price this with you in mind. This is a very rare coin. And what year is the unicorn from?
1996.
1996. They're like the Loch Ness Monster and Sasquatch. They only come out every now and then. I think Sasquatch comes out when he's feeling frisky. He wants to mate, Patty. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he lives in the remote part of Seattle or Washington. There's not a whole lot of female Sasquatches around. All right, no one has bought that yet, but I know Mr. S is thinking about it with the Chinese paperwork and a domesticated unicorn. I guarantee him it's domesticated. All right, now, here. Patty, this guy looks upset. Ashley, did you upset this president here?
Are you have an offer
What's that?
on the unicorn?
No, I can't do that.
You're asking no. Is that $225?
Which corn is that? And what did you do to get this man so mad at you? My mic is back on.
Estados Unidos Mexicanos.
Estados Unidos Mexicano.
Mexicano.
Mexicano. And how many peso is this?
Cinco.
Cinco means 5?
Yes.
No.
Like Cinco de Mayo.
No, that's why I got in trouble. So he wanted 5 pesos. I thought he just wanted to put the coffee cup in the Cinco. But anyway, my bad. I am not a grammatically correct, or I'm not correct with anything. Ashley, what do we want to sell my Cinco? How many Cinco pesos do I have? Is this a 1 sink household or a 2 sink household?
I think you had like 4.
I got 4 sinks. I'm living well. You sure I have 4?
I'll come count them.
And what do they sell for? And what am I going to sell my for? Can you say for in the same sentence? Is that grammatically incorrect?
No, that's okay.
For? On eBay for $350.
You could sell yours for $350.
I can sell. What are they selling on eBay for? And how much gold weight is in the fives? Yeah, let's find them on eBay because they're like $450, right? .1206. 2539. 0.12. 0.1206. What are they going for? They're selling for $545. You sure you got the 5 Cinco? And I have 4 of these. $513.94.
This one's
$591.46. Hey, you know the unicorn we sold too cheap? It can calculate math real fast. Yeah, that unicorn's got a head for math, Wilson. Now, Ashley. $570. Watch this. $319. And Ashley is telling me I have 4 of these. So I actually have 20 peso. Because it'd be 4 times 5. Is that how it works? No. No, I got 4 cincs. 4 Cinco pesos. That is so cheap at $319. We have undercut everybody that's ever owned one. You got to go back with Marty McFly and a type machine to before the Brenton Woods deal broke up to get them this cheap. All right, someone's going to buy them all right now. I just want to make sure. I'm going to lay you down here. Oh, here are the other 2. So 1, 2, 3. I don't... And there's, oh, hang on. I got it. No, hang on. 1, 2. I'm glad I stopped this. 1, 2. 3, 4. 4. So I got 5 of them then.
Oh, you do?
Yes. I got 5 Cinco pesos. And I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't want to get anybody jealous. But I think 5 cincs are as many as the Clampetts had in the Beverly Hillbillies. That was a big house. Granny had to work real hard to keep that clean. Did you ever visit the Clampetts' house?
I did not.
Isn't it down in Beverly Hills somewhere? All right, I have 5 of these, and I'm going to lean one up against the base. Now you'll fall down. There it is, right there. Let's put up the graphics on the Cinco pesos. I have, those are nice. I lowered these down to $3.19. They're $5.91 on eBay right now. That's the good news. $3.19. I have 5 of them. Matt didn't know who Kreskin was. Wilson knew who Kreskin was, right? At 319. That is, look at that. These are $500. I have 5 of them. I lowered them all the way down to $319 each. All right. All right, we sold the unicorn. We sold this, right, Ashley? The maple leaf or the, all right. Oh, this is rare. All right, what is this actually? How much gold is in this little?
Which one is that?
It's got a picture of my mom on the other side. The queen.
It's 2335.
2335. It's a tenth of an ounce, but it is 24 karat pure gold, Canadian. That is pure gold. And Ashley, what did you find comps for this one?
The platinum coin is sold.
Platinum's gone. This is, yeah, look at those graphics. 1/10 ounce pure gold, 2020. I'll tell you what, these smaller denominations, look at that. 2020. Tell you what, gold's about $2,000 an ounce, but this is a lower minted one. 200. Watch this. Ashley, if this doesn't sell for $224 so fast, the premium on this is like $75. And this, oh my goodness. Anybody wants this for that low price, give me a call.
Item number 2335.
2335.
It says gold coin Canadian maple leaf.
Yeah, tenth of an ounce. 20.
And you only have one.
Just have one, yeah. And I lowered all the way down to like $229. $229. Only got one. That's going to sell fast. So we still have Ashley. Can you explain what these are? You have nice polished fingernails. I know you're on the phone, but you can do 3 things at once. All right. I can't give you my security code. Well, I could give it to you, but Wilson would have to kill you. Okay. What is this, Patty? Is that a dos peso?
Yeah, it's just like my ring.
Just like your ring. So this is a 2 peso coin. Folks, who wants a 2 peso gold coin? Show them your ring that you made with yours. No, just put your ring finger on there. Yeah, just, Wilson, check out this. Patty bought one for me, and look what she made with it. Look at that. Patty made a ring out of the one she got. Look at that. And Ashley, what's my cost on the 2 pesos? Because I got 2 of them. Oh, let's get the item number on the
2541.
2541.
So this,
All right. I have two of them, 195 each. I actually have three of them, Ashley. I have three of them. Boy, they're little. And they run away, Patty. Did you have that trouble with your ring?
Yeah, I have a ring and I also did a pendant.
Ah, well, that one wants to escape. So, yeah, 195. I have three of them. They're dos pesos. And so, Ashley, is your name Ashley?
sorry,
Is you?
I was trying to work.
Okay. All this is sold. Your name's Ashley, right? Okay. Just want to make sure. You can't be too. Hey, have you been listening about all this AI stuff?
I know.
I mean, she looks like Ashley. She seems to talk like Ashley. But maybe she's not Ashley. Yes. She is that famous Soviet spy. You know what her real name is? No. Gwendolyn Flumpmore. Gwendolyn Flumpmore. Yeah. I think you sort of suspected it, right, Patty? That's Gwendolyn Flumpmore. All right. At 195. All right. 185. 175. I got three of them. There's probably more gold than that. First three colors, dos pesos. Yeah.
Maybe you're not you.
I'd know if I wasn't me.
But you're an AI. How would you know that?
No, because you know what? To make Barry AI work like great.
Because if I was in me, I would change my name back to Gary Upchurch. Oh, that worked until they tore my fake ID up. If you can buy a 2 peso for $175, all right, I'm going to keep them. And that. I will move. Oh, Ashley, I sold one. I still have one more of these proof Great Britain 2001 proof coins. Matt, you had that up. I sold one. I have the second one left. And do you remember the item number on this? Because I sold one, got one left.
2717.
2717. Yes, Gwendy.
Dos pesos, how much did you put them up for?
Say what?
You put up the dos pesos.
175.
I lowered down to 175. I only got a few of those left.
May I take one for?
Yes. You may. Miss Frontmore. Gwendolyn Frontmore. You really worked it pretty good. Everybody thinks your name is Ashley. And what did I sell this for? Sold one.
You were asking 295.
How much?
295.
$295. But that's a rare proof coin from 2001. A Space Odyssey. Dave, what are you doing to the computer? Hal, 2000. Yes. Give me a call. So I only got one of those left. I lowered these down to 175. How many of the the 5 pesos have I sold?
0.
I have 5 of them? Take a look at that one more time. What's the item number on the 5 pesos?
Sorry, what did you ask?
What is the item number on the 5?
539.
Say it again.
2539.
2539. I have five of these. They are online right now from 3 or 4 very reputable bullion coin salespeople, and they want $590. All right. I have 5 of them. Don't miss out on this. Oh, this hurts. If they don't sell out, hey, that's not Matt.
That's Adrian,
I thought so.
my boy.
Adrian, how many people are watching me on the internet? Oh, yeah. What? Even with that few people watching, this is gold. This is a 5 peso gold coin. Oh, look at that. $159. It's got to melt for something like that.
Not the single. No. You had it for 319.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, I know.
No, this one we had at $319. This is the one that they sell for $595. I lowered it down to $319. Watch this, Patty. $303. $303. I have 5 of them. If they don't go bye-bye, I can safely say that we can blame it on the bossa nova, the dance of love. All right. There you go. Look how cool that is. 303 or 2, something like that. Look at that. Okay, those are still available. How many of these little bad boys have I sold? The dos peso. $159. One's gone?
Yes, sir.
Because I got 5 over here.
But you had it at 175. Are you warning me?
I had it at 175. We had it at 219. I lowered it all the way down to 159. 159. That's the good news. There is no good news. The good news is that in 19 and a half minutes, I am joined by Dish Network. That's too cheap. I'm just going to look at that right here. These guys want to get away, Patty. All right. Call on my pile of gold. We sold one of these, Ashley. The 2001. Do you have one over there?
No, I don't, but you gave me the paper.
This didn't sell?
Yes. What's your zip code?
Good. I sold this too cheap. Just call.
Yes, actually has 5. Of course. I have 2 of the 5 pesos, so they're sold.
2 of the 5 pesos. Okay. 1, 2. Thank you, Patty. What did we sell the 5 pesos for?
303.
Yes. I have 2 of them right here, ready to go. Boy, those are nice 5 pesos. I'm going to pick that customer out. They're all perfect, but when they see the quality from PrimeTime, I keep watching that other network. I used to know some of those people. Yeah, these are gone. Patty sold those. I don't know if what you said is true, though. Did one of those owners really get thrown in jail for all those crimes you talked to me about? I knew he was a little peculiar the way he always spent so much time with coins, but I didn't see that other curve coming, Patty. Yeah. What do they? Don't they have to give him like a mental evaluation before they can even send him to trial? Well, keep me informed on that, Patty. Just goes to show you, Wilson, you just don't know. All right. So I am down to... I have... How many dos pesos? Have you guys sold any dos?
We sold one, there's 2 available.
One is gone. There are 2 still left. So just, what is the item number on the dos peso?
541.
2541. And don't think of it as just a dos peso. They list for $2.59. What did I price mine at, Patty?
On those, you lowered it to 159.
$1.59. So if you buy them both, do you really have a 2 peso? Do you have a 4 peso? No. I have 2 dos pesos at $1.59 each. I have one of these Super Howl the Computer British 2001 proof coin that we lowered. We sold one, I have one left. I have of the 5 pesos, I have, no, I sold 2, right? You just sold 2 of the 5?
Yes, so you have 3 available.
No, I am down to 1.
On the 5 pesos?
Oh, because I already took some over there.
You took 2 already.
Yeah, okay.
You have 3 there.
I have 3 5 pesos left. And I have this cool coin. I thought we sold it. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Look at that. Again, I'm trying to see if it has a privy mark. I don't think it does at this stage. So call on my... All right, let's see if you can stand up. Okay. Wilson, this is my dwindling pile of world gold. Call me. Oh yeah, find it. I don't know where it is. I don't. Oh, there it is. There it is. Right under the light box. Yes. Any one you want. You'll make it look better than I can. Patty. And she is quick with that knife, man. She wouldn't let me use it. She said, you'll cut yourself. And she's right. All right, now. No, take your time, Patty. What's that tattoo of?
It's a key my daughter made me get.
Let me see. Let me see. It's a what?
It's a key
Ah, the key to what?
to
I don't think that's why she said that, because I don't think she knew that this would be. It's not the key to this gold.
Hold on, Wilson, hold on.
All right, there's two more. There. All right. Well, hang on. How many did we start with at Dos Pesos?
We started with 3 and now we have 2.
I got one in my hand here. So that's
Yeah, I have one here.
okay.
So you have 2.
Call! Folks, I have sold this gold so cheap. I apologize. I thought I was going to have. I got a great show. I got some Novaros coming up. I got Marcel Mouley. I got all kinds of other cool stuff. But you need gold. And to have gold this cheap, I mean, I see ads, I see things on eBay where a coin like that, when I'm selling for $159, they want $329. Good job, Patty. So when I told you I have a switchblade that I got a long time ago, you were impressed.
Yes.
Then when I told you it was a pink switchblade, you gave me a funny look. Why would you give someone a funny look just because they use a pink switchblade?
You using a pink switchblade, it just doesn't go together.
I could be colorblind. Oh yeah, Chappell, you sold art on TV for 33 years and you're colorblind. No! I got it in Mexico.
So what are we gonna have at like what?
Oh, we got Navaros coming up. We got a couple Azoulay, but we have Marcel Mouley. I have 3 signed and numbered Marcel Mouleys.
I see we have Novaros.
I got 3 of them. One of them glows so well. Oh, it's in a black box. I can't see through it, but I can feel the glow.
Yeah, let me see.
Nobody on any of this gold. Oh my goodness. I keep lowering it.
Look at that.
Somebody, oh yeah, walk past the camera with that. All right, now
I don't think, you know what, the light.
let's just see if it shows up at all
I
because
don't think it is. It doesn't, yeah.
it's showing up.
It's too bright. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. We'll put it back in the light box and we'll get Wilson.
7 o'clock.
But Patty, when we do it in the light box, when the other lights are off, you got to sing "We Are the World."
We are the world.
Yes. All right. Nobody left on any of those gold, especially that 2001. That is a rare gold coin. My gut tells me you're going to see these coins triple a lot quicker than most people think. I think we are near the breaking point. And gold, it closed today at $1,973 an ounce. That's bizarre. It should be $4,500 an ounce with all the paper they have borrowed against. This gold should be triple where it is now. Any last calls? Wilson, are you going away for Labor Day? You got to work. Are you going away the day before Labor Day? No? Where are you going, Juliet, for Labor Day?
Here,
All right, the day before Labor Day.
work, Hollywood Bowl.
You're going to the Hollywood Bowl? What do you do at the Hollywood Bowl?
I work in rehearsing stuff. I work in rehearsals.
You work at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes.
What does she do there?
I come here with the shirt on.
He's asking what do you do there?
work in the rehearsals. I help.
The rehearsal.
She helps coordinate rehearsals.
Oh, can you sneak me into the Hollywood Bowl? Yeah,
Take it the other great green.
you take it. But you got to say, I'm taking the coin, Hal.
I'm taking no coin, Hal.
That's close enough.
You said Hal?
Hal, the supercomputer.
2001.
All right. I'm running low. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coins and a very nice queen. Just think, Patty. If I had been selling coins with a queen on it when Freddie Mercury was still alive, think of the business we could have done. I would have had Wilson drop it off at his house. All right. I'll send Ashley. She would love to have met him. I would have loved to have met him.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
All right, Ashley. You got your choice. Who would you have rather met? All right. Rod Stewart or Freddie Mercury?
That's hard. Actually, worked on this one?
Freddie Mercury was of the band Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Who would you say?
Freddie Mercury, that was a very interesting, strange, contradicting individual. Some people are mad at him to this day. Some people think he's one of the greatest. The people who are mad at him say, hey, look at all the good Magic Johnson did when he found out he had HIV. He came forward and let the world know that, hey, I'm Magic Johnson and I'm married, but I got HIV. A lot of people felt Freddie Mercury could have said something and helped stop the spread, but I don't know. All right, let's move on. Oh, and I'm glad the insanity stopped there, Ashley, because I was selling stuff way too cheap. Now, okay. Speaking, I'm going to move the Zacks to right here. Amazing gold frame. Stop. I cannot believe I can't sell this older British rocker. Mick Jagger. Done by Zacks.
2657.
2657. It's a polymorph. This was an original polymorph done by Zacks, who is one of the, he is doing amazing. He is a current day pop artist. He just sold a piece for $10,200 at Julian's art auction in Beverly Hills. This is a tribute to Mick Jagger. He just had a birthday. How old did he turn, Wilson? I would never have thought he would have made it to 80.
Maybe he did it. Maybe.
Oh, AI again. All right. Tell you what. Now, he, what does it have the list price at there? I don't know, what? 3,800. I left my glasses in the car. 3,800. Tell you what I'm going to do. And this is like a tribute piece. Zach's does stuff. Look at this. Look at the cert Zach's made you. It's got a hologram.
Oh, yeah.
36 or 3,800. Ashley, what would you do if you were me? I know, jump. I know, but what would you do? Take out, forget about me part, but what's my... Zach, but this is a tribute to Mick Jagger. And who's Mick Jagger's friend that should have been dead, I don't know, 40 years ago? Keith Richards. Yeah. You know what that means? Wilson, Patty, Juliet, Ashley. The song's true. Only the good die young. Yes.
I want to be back. I don't want that young.
Oh, I know, Patty. You're bad to the bone. You were born bad. All right, I'll tell you what. 36 or 38. Watch this. If there's only 2 people watching me right now, Wilson, there's going to be 2 people bidding on this. Because that is a tribute to Mick Jagger. It's an original. It is the E.M. Zach's, who is on fire. Not literally. I know you tried to do it. I'm not. Don't bring it up, Chappell. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Oh, this is too cheap. Too cheap. $700 to open, $100 increments. Bless you. E.M. Zach's.
Hi, can I help you?
A polymorph. How can we... Hey, who's organizing all these deals? Or they just clearing out a major shop? Have you seen this, Wilson? They have snatch and grab. Anybody to open at 700? All right. Good news is I have 1 minute and I'm on Dish. And I thank you folks just watching me. If I can go to camera 2 for a second, I just want to thank you folks watching me on the internet only, especially on a weekend right now where everybody is traveling. Everybody. So I wouldn't do that if I were you, Wilson. You're going to get in trouble. You're the type of guy that will get in trouble. I'm talking to my cameraman, Wilson. Ashley, talk him out of it. Will you do that for me, Ashley? You'll talk Wilson out of that? Yeah. Wilson's talking about organizing one of the biggest snatch and grabs in L.A. history. No, that's too many. You'll get in trouble. How can you get 894 people all to run through the same malls? Wilson, what's your last name? You're not going to say. All right. Well, thank you. Call me on the Zach's. Are we on Dish now? Hello, Dish Network. Thank you for joining my viewers from the internet only portion. Now I'm on Dish, and I want to thank you. I have some amazing art tonight. I have Marcel Mouly, one of the most important Cubist artists of all time. I have 3 of the most amazing Navaros you have ever seen. I have a Zach's homage to Renoir. On the easel, his prices have steady but increasing. So I got a handful of gold coins left, got some amazing Navaros left. But I'll tell you what I am going to start with. Ooh. I only have 3 Navaros. Jean-Claude Novaro is one of the greatest glass makers that ever lived and died. This was his death notice. He died December 30th, 2014. And that was one of the most famous pictures of Jean-Claude Novaro. Yeah. He was the first man to make glass glow at night. He would tell me, I got to make glass with him in 2006. He said, Barry, they've been making glass for 4,000 years. I'm the first one to make it glow in the dark. He said it took him 10 years. But one morning he got up and he saw a little faint trail of glow and he knew he was getting close. This was his funeral notice, and that is Jean-Claude Novaro with his young son Joseph. Now Joseph is now 25, but that was a picture Jean-Claude loved of him and his young son Joseph making glass. The entire Novaro estate, the glass that's still left has been tied up in French probate between Virginie, Jean-Claude Novaro's second wife, and Jean-Claude Novaro's daughter from a first marriage. And it's been going on and on and on. Jean Reno, the French actor, was a big fan of Claude Novaro's. Look at this. This is in Antibes, France, Wilson. All those people came to Novaro's funeral to say goodbye to Jean-Claude Novaro. The entire city. Here is me with Jean-Claude when he was in, and Joseph. We went out and visited them, and they came out, and he is just one of the kindest people of all time. I want to show you something. This is what Jean-Claude Novaro could do, Wilson. Look at that. Make glass glow. And that's what is so important to him and to you and anybody that ever owns one. They've been making glass for 4,000 years. The only glass that glows at night is Jean-Claude Novaro's. That makes him 1 in a billion. And to own a fluorescent Novaro, you can't do any better. He used to put on these shows where he would just have his glass, turn off the lights. Look at the ones glowing red. Oh, no, that's my finger. Never mind. Now, Patty, I think I brought it with me. Please. Matt, which film, how long is the Novaro film?
Wilson asked Matt.
I think it's like 9 minutes or something like that.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Folks, what I am going to show you, we went to Antibes, France a long time ago and made this on Jean-Claude Novaro, his lifestyle, and his glass.
I was saying it's 3 minutes.
That's a short one. But isn't there a 10-minute Novaro? Okay. I want you to see this because I have here 3 mouth-blown, hand-spun Jean-Claude Novaros. 2 with gold leaf, 1 that glows like you've never seen. And they are worth so much more. He is the guy that invented it. 1,000 years from now, they'll be talking about Jean-Claude Novaro. I'll see you in 9 minutes, 10 minutes. Take a look at this.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Jean-Claude
Hello,
Novaro.
my name is Jean-Claude Novaro.
Je suis artiste verrier.
I am an artist glassblower. I've been doing this work since the age of 14. I live in France, on the French Riviera. I live in a small village called Biot, near Antibes, which is a very beautiful town. I was born in Biot, and I have a lot of friends in Biot. My life is my family, my friends, my work, and the animals. I love animals.
Patriote, yes, good, way!
Je fais du verre
I've been making glass for 48 years, with passion
avec amour.
and with love. I discovered this craft when I was very young. I discovered it, and it was so magical that it has become my life. It's my pleasure. I get as much pleasure from it today as I did 48 years ago, and I'm very happy to do this craft. When I started to make glass, I was very young. I just turned 14, and there was a glass factory in Biot. And I used to go play in the glass factory, and I liked it so much that I got myself hired.
Je suis là, Jean-Claude.
I started to make goblets, stemware, carafes, and it so happened that I was very talented at this craft. And then I was on my way. After 20 years, I added colors, did a lot of research. And then I set myself up on my own. And it wasn't going well. But I wanted it to, so I searched. And then one day there was a click, and it started to work. And it worked, and it worked. I was overwhelmed by that it was so popular. All the galleries in Paris, in France, people really liked it a lot. And that was such a good feeling because thanks to that I can continue to do a lot of research. I've never opened a book about anyone, the great glassblowers. I never opened one book. It's not interesting to me. Everything I do comes out of my mind, out of my research. It's my life. But I'm surprised and very happy that what I do is appreciated, and I'm very, very happy. What is art? You like it or you don't. There's no accounting for taste. everybody has their own opinion. But what I love in art, it has to be made with your hands. Painting, pottery, ironwork, bronze, all that for me is art. I like art that is made by hand. When you sweat and then later it can take any form you like. Each artist does what he wants, has his own imagination, but art, it's in the hands. It's in the heart. And then later it's in the eyes. And then people like it or not, that's art. Personally, I think that if we don't preserve the work of the hands, the traditions, there's nothing left. Life, what is life? We breathe, we drink, we hear, we sleep. But I think that we must preserve the hands' work, working the soil, the mason's work, the painter's work, manual work. It must be preserved. It's very important. That's what life is. It's simple, not complicated, and I think that it's good. When I'm making a piece, I'm always at my maximum state of being. I feel like I'm relaxed, but I'm tense and very focused, because it's not easy to blow and give life to a piece, to give it shape. And I'm always at my maximum when I'm making a piece, from the beginning to the end of the piece. I just love to live. I love to make a living through my work, because every day when I go in front of my oven, I'm very, very happy to feel the heat from the oven, to feel the noise, to apply the colors, take a little bit of glass, to start to blow, to work it, to blow, to sweat. It's hot. Between the glass and me, it's a game, because I always want to make pieces that have never been done anywhere in the world. In other words, every time I develop new techniques, color techniques, that have never been done before, and I'm the one who invented them, and it's a game, and I want it to work, because sometimes it breaks and sometimes it doesn't work. It's a struggle between the glass and me to find the technique, why it's breaking, and to discover how it won't break. And after 7 to 8 years, I managed to develop this technique. It's a give and take between the glass and me constantly. And when the piece is done, I put it in the oven. For me, it's a new baby about to be born when it will come out of the oven.
Good?
So when I have an idea for a piece, the idea is in my head. And before I make the piece, it's in my head for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, sometimes a year, sometimes 2, sometimes less, sometimes more. And when I'm ready to make this piece in my head, then I make the piece. Gradually, as I'm making the work, I see the reaction of everything I put into it, colors, gold leaf, and all the rest, and then based on that, I make my piece. Once the piece is done, I put it in the oven to anneal for 15, 16, 18 hours. And when the piece comes out, then I look at it and I say to myself, that's okay, that's not so good, that's not good. And for me, then the piece is made, and at that point, I start to make a new collection. But it takes 2 or 3 years before I make the piece. When I was developing the fluorescent pieces, I gave it 10 years of my life before it worked. 10 years of my life, that's huge. When I developed the gold technique so that it wouldn't melt inside the glass, it took me 5 years. It took 6 years of my life. And every time I develop a new technique, it spends years in my head. It's there, it's waiting. I do it, I don't do it. I don't know, it's passion. It's passion. I've been doing this work for 48 years. I haven't seen the time go by, and I feel like I started making glass yesterday. It's so exciting to do. I always think about my work all the time, all the time. I think that I wouldn't be able to make the pieces I do if I didn't think about it constantly. And I still enjoy working as much as I did 20 years ago. And I think that I'll still enjoy doing what I do in 10 years, even if I'm 10 years older, because it's a wonderful career I've had. That I've been fortunate enough to learn, sure, but more than anything, fortunate that I like it and fortunate it's successful. Because there's lots of people who love their jobs, but they live hand to mouth. Whereas I've had the good fortune that people like it, and I'm very happy, and thanks to that, I can continue till the end. It's my life, it's my passion, and thank you to all of you who buy my pieces.
That was Jean-Claude Novaro. He was one of the all-time greats. You know, it's funny because what gets most glass makers are their kidneys because they're sweating, you know, hot, 22, 2100 degrees. And it was his heart, but he had had surgery for hernias and everything else. And I have two right here. And Patty, yeah, you figure something out there. This is what is the item number on this one, Ashley?
That would be the blue and purple.
Blue and purple. That was a trick that Novaro worked on. 2710. To put gold in glass. Now, glass is 2100 degrees. Mouth blown, hand spun. That little sheet of gold, if you don't do it right, it will turn brown, turn black, it will vaporize. Take a look at that. Now, that is where Jean-Claude Novaro signed it and dated it 2004 or whatever, yeah. He signs his name, he scribes his name, and he puts the date there. Look at that gold. That's 22 karat gold that he would put in there. Oh. Now, because every single Novaro, for all practical purposes, he died in 2014. And the majority of the Novaros that were made are tied up in French probate. So they've been 2023. So they spent 9 years so far in probate. And, oh my God, they're going to be $1 billion. Look at this. I got this from one of his suppliers. Look at that. Here's what I'm going to do. These are 4 and 5 and 6,000 now because this is mouth blown and spun. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, look at this. I'm going to auction it. I'm going to work a deal. Here's what I'm going to do. $1,500 to open. $200 increments. Look at that. Look at that. It is stunning. Look at that. Mouth blown, hand spun. We have the open. Look at that. $1,500 going once. Look at that. $1,500. Who are you verifying?
His
Miss M. Well, hang on. These are, oh my goodness, I just dropped my nicotine gum on the floor.
Uh-oh. 5-second
5 second
roll.
roll. All right, well, hang on. Miss M, I have another one coming up in a minute. 1,500, going once.
Verify, give her, she has bad weather.
Can you show the signature?
Sure can. I sure can, but let me pick this gum up before I step in it. Ugh. No. I got it. Look at that right there. Jean-Claude Novaro. He writes his name, he scribes, Diamond Point scribes his signature. Look at that. I do have to move on. 1,700. $1,700, looking for 1,900. 1,700. I am going to give everybody as much time as they need. Someone was asking, 1,900 has been bid. 1,900, look at that. I do have one coming up after this. We are at 1,900.
Verify.
That is so cool. He was so ahead of his time. Oh my goodness. $1,900, going once, going twice, all in, all said, sold. That is gone, and I am going to, oh, that is a beauty too. Folks, I think he is one of the best glass artists. I know Dale Chihuly, and I see all that. Look at Jean-Claude Novaro. Look at this one. Look at that. What is the item number on this?
This one is
2079. 2709. I'm dyslexic, numberize. And I tell you, if any of you guys know a good dog psychologist, I need one. My 4-year-old hound dog, Ginger, I figured out what the problem is, Wilson. I got to get a good animal psychologist. I do. Look at this. Look at that signature. This is dated 2001. 2001. And that's where Jean-Claude Novaro signed it, scribed it, then he wrote his name, Novaro. See, here's the thing. Ginger has been an incredibly scared dog. I got her from a very mean shelter, and she was about 7 months old when I got her. She's now 4 years old. She's not as scared. But Ginger, my dog, has problems because, how do I say this politely, Wilson? My dog is a trans dog. Ginger thinks Ginger's a little kitty cat in a hound dog body. Ginger thinks she's a kitty cat. She tries to play, well, one kitty cat, Tucker, scared her away. My hound dog doesn't know she's a hound dog. My hound dog thinks it's a kitty cat. Yes. In your entire life, Juliet, you've never met a dog that thinks it's a cat. You just don't get around much, do you? Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do on this one. Oh, man, this is priceless. I'm going to do the same thing. $1,500 to open, $200 increments. Look at that. 24 karat gold. Look at that. Just beautiful. This is the last Novaro I did. Melvin, what do you say about the other one? This is the last one I have right here. Now, as much as I joke around, Ginger's a great dog. I got her from a bad shelter, in my opinion. When I got her, you could see every rib in her body. She was terrified of dogs and people. It took me 6 months just to take her every day to the dog park near where I live, the small dog park. It took me 6 months to get her in the small dog side. And then she played there for a good half a year, loved it, till that one awful day, Wilson. I got her there. She's playing in the small dog side, having fun. And then the three little assassins. These Chihuahuas, they teamed up on Ginger and she was so scared. So I took her immediately in the big dog park and she loves it there. She goes there every day. She's already been there twice today. She goes in the morning, she plays with these Labrador puppies and she just loves them. No one is going to open this at $1,500. I love this. Look at the teal green, the pinks, the gold. Hand signed, mouth blown, hand spun. Dated 2001. Look at that pattern. I mean, are you kidding? Robert Kraft was one of his biggest buyers. He kept calling Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, his brother. In the New England Patriot Hall of Fame room, there are 3 Novaros that he did of different players. Love this one. Look at that. That is made at 2100 degrees. A vase like this done in 2001 takes about 3 months to cool. Novaro has to time it, and after 3 weeks he takes it from one very hot oven to one not as hot, then slowly stepping it down to where it can cool. Look at that. He won the Chevrolet medal, the highest honor an artist can get in France. Novaro was very proud of it. I have a picture of him. That was me making glass with Novaro in 2006. but I will show you because this, I think, is amazing. There is Jean-Claude Novaro in the Hall of Fame room at the Patriots, standing next to the 3 Super Bowl trophies. Here is Jean-Claude Novaro on the field in New England with Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots. Here is me trying to make a piece of glass. Look, I had the angle and everything, Wilson. Look at that. And that's hot, man. Looks like a piece of honey, but don't touch it. And you blow through that cane, that rod. I asked Novaro, because he speaks just a tiny bit of English, not much. I don't speak any French. I asked him, what if I inhale instead of blowing out? He laughed and goes, no, 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 no. And had a picture like, you're going to float up to heaven, dude. Don't do that. This was his campaign that you saw around Paris. Illuminate your style. Novaro. First person to ever make glass glow. But here is the award that he was. Boy, he sold to a lot of famous people. Here, and he did this day in, day out. It's so hot, but that's what he did. Non-stop. I think Frank Sinatra got mad at him once. Look at this. You know what Frank Sinatra said to him right there, Patty?
What?
He says, you make me the best landscape ever, you'll never see your puppy again. No, he didn't. I don't know. I wasn't there, but Frank Sinatra was a Novaro glass fan. But I want to show you this one medal, the highest honor. I'll show you a couple more because here it is. This is my daughter, Katie, in Antibes when she was just a little kid. Let's see, she was 4 or 5, and Joseph would always wrestle with her and Ben, to the point I called him WWF Joseph. And but look at that. That was how tall some of the Novaro sculptures were. Here is his buddy, Jean Renoir, making glass with Jean-Claude Novaro. Robert De Niro also stopped by. This is the highest honor that you could ever get if you are a French artist. And that is the medal they give next to you, next to it. He was so proud of this. So few ever get that honor. The French Ministry of Culture, Chappell, Novaro Knights of Arts and Humanity. So, and this is what he did day in, day out. He did take a year. He went to Dubai, where he made glass for one of the princes over there. He loved it there. He likes things hot. I'm the opposite of that. This is what his cooling oven looks like. Different months after it cools, he slides it in the next level down. Gently. You don't want to crack anything. If it's going to crack, it might crack the last month after 3.5 months of cooling down, so he's very careful. He was. He loved golf, and Jean-Claude Novaro, to this day, if you own a Novaro, take such good care of it. Has anybody bought this last Novaro? Who was your customer, Ashley? MH. Miss M. She in the hurricane right now?
The maple leaf did sell. That's the only one.
What's that?
The maple leaf sold.
Okay. Thank you. Now, folks, I want to show you something really cool. I consider myself lucky to have them. Give me one right here. This man died in 2008. His name was Marcel Mouly. Marcel Mouly changed the way people look at art. He was one of the founding 12 members of Cubism. There are the founders. The guy standing up in the back is Pablo Picasso. And directly to one side is Marcel Mouly. What Marcel Mouly did was he gave Cubism the color theory it needed. Painting 3 dimensions on a 2-dimensional object, we get Cubism. But what Marcel Mouly did was he said, let's do that, but let's use the right color theory. These 12, any pieces by any of these 12 are worth billions of dollars. Those are the 12 founding members of Cubism. And that is Pablo Picasso in the back and Mouly right close by. This was May 1953. Look at this, Lobo. Look at all this. They are amazing. Ashley, where are my Moulys? Aha. I wish I had 10 of each. I don't. I only have 1 of each. They are framed. Which one is this?
That is from the Still Life collection.
Still Life collection. And it is an artist proof. And it is hand signed by Marcel Mouly. It is custom framed and it is a big piece. What is the dimensions on it? 2714. 30 by 40. Marcel Mouly. It is absolutely unbelievable. And I just want to show you what some of these moolies go for. The original paintings, you know, I would sell them 20 years ago. I haven't had a chance. Here's one jazz quartet, an original by Marcel Mouly, 1981, 137,500. Here's an original right here. What does this mean, Wilson? Bete Azoulay something. What does that mean? And once again, this is 20 years ago. No, I'm sorry, 13 years ago. Painting done in 2001. Something about the ships in the lagoon or something. When you get to Marcel Mouly signed and numbered pieces, I want to show you. Most of them, I got a art brokerage comp here, 22,000, 12,000, 3,500. He met Picasso in 1946. Picasso was 65. Here, trying to give you some ideas on the non-originals like I have. Here is one that was done in 2013. Look at that. Art brokerage, they want $5,900. And you got to be careful. You got to make sure that you are getting good Mouly. Here's one that was done right here. Marcel Mouly, 6,500 for a signed and numbered Mouly. I only have 3. They are framed beautifully. The frames match. They are gorgeous. Look at this. Wow. Died just a few weeks before his 90th birthday. I'm looking at these prices, Ashley, and these prices I printed 13 years ago. 12,000, 17,000, 14,000, 6,900 on his signed and numbered Moulys. So let me show you. I only have 3. That's our important phone. Now, where did Ashley go? Here is my second Marcel Mouly. These are huge. They're 30 by 40s. They are framed beautifully. We just couldn't get them here in time for the show. They're ready to ship. Look at this Marcel Mouly right there, Wilson. What's the item number on the second Marcel Mouly?
That would be 2713.
2713. I like the chess set that the vase is on. I like how Marcel Mouly in Cubism is making 3 sides to the room. You're seeing front, back, and around that vase as Cubism does, but he's showing you colors that will work. What is the number of this one? Not the item number, but the
Still life collection.
No, I know, but it's number 127 of 300. Yes. This last one I've had before. I want to say, I thought the name was the model, but I could be wrong. This is the third one. What did you name this one, Ashley? What's the name on the third one?
The third one is interior.
Interior, that's what it is.
Is 2712.
2712. Now, folks, any authentic Marcel Mouly, especially the 30 by 40s, they're $15,000, $18,000, $20,000. And I have these three. I am going to auction them off. They are absolutely beautiful. I am going to start with this one with the raging reds. Take a look at that. Now, take a look at this. It is frame perfect for the piece. It is a 30 by 40, hand signed, hand numbered Marcel Mouly, one of the most important Cubist artists ever. List price, that was an expensive one. Look at this. And the print number you're getting on this one, Ashley, do we know the print number they're getting on Still Life? Ashley? $90 of 100. Smaller edition. $13,700 was the price 10 years ago. List $13,700 10 years ago, and you are getting piece number 90 out of 100. Number 90 out of 100, framed beautifully. Here's what I'm going to do. If you don't own a Marcel Mouly, I wish I had 500 of these. I had bought some originals before he died. I got them in 2002 and 3. He lived till 2008. I wish I had bought a lot more. This is one of the most important Cubist artists ever. List 13,008 10 years ago. Tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, this is too cheap. It's huge, 30 by 40. That is one of the most colorful Moulys. If you had a complaint, which I don't, but if some did, about some of his editions, they looked a tad bit washed out. Not because of fading or anything, he just had a softer color. This is one of the coolest Marcel Moulys ever. 13,800 10 years ago, probably 18,000, 20,000 now. Here's what I'm going to do, Ashley. $1,500 to open, $200 increments. Hand signed, hand numbered, an edition of only 100. A deluxe edition done by Marcel Mouly. Look at that. What's that? Folks, I hope all of you are safe this weekend. I don't know, I got not a bad.
Can I take the EU for
This one?
the EU, which is the other still?
Now it should be on. I am down to 2. Either one, 1,500 to open. Interiors, and look at that. Oh, that colorful one. Oh, folks, I've seen a lot of Marcel Mouly. To find one that hey, two Marcel Moulys left. If you are interested in one, this interiors is classic Marcel Mouly, 13,000 10 years ago. And it's stunning to have that many different shades, so pastelish. But when you look at this one, this vivid color, I never want to compete with a customer, but I don't come across Marcel Moulys with that vivid of color. The whole idea of trying to have 3 sides to a 2-dimensional object and use vivid color like that. There's literally 8, 10, 12 different shades of blue. So at 1,500, call me up, get me close. I sold one. I have 2 Marcel Moulys left. And I am going to, this is hard hanging paper right there. How does that look? Hey, I did it. Oh, yeah, that's what happens, Chappell. All right. I still have 1 Novaro vase left. And I want to thank you. I have, if you like coins, next week I'm going to knock your socks off. But take a look at colorful Mouly at 1,500. Get me close, Ashley. Talk to folks. I'll tell you what, I want to move these Moulys right here for a second, because I have one Zax here that is so unbelievable. Homage to Renoir. Look at this. It has one heck of a bio about Zax. Look at this. This is a unique original done by Zax. Homage to Renoir. And look at this lady. Look at all the collage that Zax does. Since that one sold, I keep forgetting the name. What's the name of that gallery in Beverly Hills? Julian's, yeah. Auction, 10,500. That was more of a sculpture. This is a painting, and this is just a unique original. Homage to Renoir, Augustus Renoir. It is the first one I've ever seen. The Saks people were telling me the retail on pieces like this keep climbing. They said we would tell you 17 to 24,000, but 17 is too low. So, but we don't want to push it higher than what the market, but they are going crazy. So 17 to 24,000 retail. That is a unique original, all done by E.M. Saks. Like Renoir. Wilson, when you were hobnobbing through Paris as a youth, or how'd they say it in that one movie, when you were a Ute? What movie am I thinking of? Oh, where they got thrown in jail? In Georgia? Ralph Macchio was one of the defendants. My cousin Vinny. Yeah. So I was asking when Wilson was a Ute, because he got around Paris, I saw Renoirs at the Hermitage in St. Petersburg. And when I was 10 years old, I lived in Germany for 1 year, and my mom took my brother's sister, and my dad joined us for briefly, but we went to the Louvre in France, in Paris, and I waited in that hot room to look at the Mona Lisa. This is Renoir, Augustus Renoir, one of the original impressionistic artists. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I got a price you can't say no to. Look at that frame. It's stunning. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, this is too cheap. My price, as good as I do, is my price should be $3,500, no lower to open. Yeah, Matt? Oh, Matt's not even in there anymore. Adrian's there. Did Matt leave? I don't want to get Matt in trouble. He's the owner's son. But it's not going to be $3,500 to open, Adrian. It's not even going to be $3,000, which it should be. At $2,500, I'm getting myself in trouble. Wilson, show him that wood frame. And look at that. That is so Renoir. Look at that. Don't get Renoir mixed up with Manet. Because lunching on the grass, Wilson, was a bunch of naked people eating lunch on the grass. And people actually came by the salon and spat on it. But that's not Renoir. That was Monet. This is Renoir. Homage to Renoir. Tell you what I can do. Not even $2,000 to open. Oh, this hurts. I hope you're out there. $1,500 to open on Saks. $1,500 to open. And who do we have there? Look at this. That is one of the great Saks. And I'll tell you, what do they say? What?
The Renoir. Renoir.
Yeah, homage to Renoir. And when in doubt, Ashley.
Are you going to have coins?
What?
Are you going to have coins next week?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Big time.
Big time.
But spell Renoir.
Renoir. R-E-N-O-I-R.
Do we get it right? All right. Thank you, Siri.
Of course.
However, Siri, lately, when I need instant directions, you seem to be asleep at the switch. Why do you fall asleep on me so much, Siri?
I don't know what you mean by, why do you fall asleep on me so much, Siri? How about a web search, Fred?
I don't need a web search. You are distracting from the question. We busted you, Siri.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else?
Yeah, no. No open on this at 1,500. Oh my gosh, and I priced it so close. Here's what I'm going to do, Ashley. I'll say it ain't so. I still have one Novaro left. And this Renoir, well, this Zax. Tell you what. This is the last Novaro I have on this planet. I had it up earlier. I don't know if we had dish yet or not, but this is gold leaf. This is mouth blown, hand spun by the great Jean-Claude Novaro. He signed it. He dated it 2001. He signs his name, then he writes his name. That is such a trick to lay a sheet of 22 or 24 karat gold on 2100 degree ball of goo, which is really glass. Everybody that tried it, it sizzles, it turns black, it evaporates, or it runs and changes to ugly colors. Novaro learned how to do it. Then the hard part after he got it there was to cool it to the point the glass didn't break, because the composition of gold and glass so different. Folks, this is a $12, $15, $18,000 Novaro. And what is the item number on this one? It's the only Novaro that didn't sell. 1709. 2709. Folks, I hope you're out there. How much?
They want you to ask Siri.
Yes.
Ask Siri if she'll open it for 1,500.
The Novaro or the painting?
Fill me in.
Siri, I have a very important question for you.
Leo,
Ask away.
Are you ready for your question, Siri?
Ask away, Barry.
Which are we talking about, the Novaro or the painting?
They're talking about.
I found this on the web.
Well, hang on. Siri, would you open up on my original Zax at $1,500?
I found this on the web.
Forget about the web. I want to know, Siri, do you like Renoir and Zax enough to open on my original Zax? Homage to Renoir for $1,500. Yes or no, Siri?
I'm not sure I understand.
Siri, Siri, Siri. All right, well, I'm not sure what Siri's going to do. So which one, either one, 1,500 to open, and I have an amazing Novaro left, and I have an amazing Zax left. And before I keep this over here.
Thank you.
Catch. No, I'm joking. Oh, that's so funny, Barry. You're just a riot. All right. Wilson, it started when I was a little kid. I mean, that was cruel. Oh, cruel to me, Wilson. If it was just my mother, I could explain it, but everybody. My dog, I had a great dog, Dino. My first dog. Parents said they had to tie a stake around my neck to get the dog to play with me. All right. Let's talk about this Zax. Uh-oh. Yeah, I swallowed too many pieces of nicotine gum. All right. I'm thinking about doing this. You guys have been great, and if I want to lose money, I'm going to lose it to my customers who are here when everybody else is on the road right now. It's like what John Travolta said in that one movie when his character was dying. Remember when all of a sudden his IQ went from average to super genius, and those kids were sad? What movie am I thinking about? John Travolta, Phenomenon. And those little kids are crying, and he looks at them, he says, every single thing in the universe is on its way somewhere. Meaning he's supposed to be dying. Tell you what, this is too cheap. I'm losing. I'm giving away money here. Are you ready for this? Ashley, if they say yes real fast, 1,200 to open, $100 increments. Look at that right there, Zax. Look at that. An original Zax, homage to Renoir, in what is literally a $1,500 gold leaf frame, but it is stunning. 1,200 to open. Yeah. I gotta be careful at the park now where I take Ginger. She's gotten so much better. Juliet, she got so much better. That's what surprised me so much about her today. No, today was a different day. But Wilson, I don't know how to say this, but there was this one dog that just kept pestering her today. And Ginger handled, she plays with the puppies, she teaches the puppies, she plays with big dogs, she plays with little dogs, she gets along with everybody. She's like the Walmart greeter at the dog park. Yeah, except for Tara. Tara kept bumping up against her, doing all kinds of mean things. And I even told their owner, Ginger gets along with everybody. Ginger's all upset. What is your dog doing? And they ignored me, didn't do anything. So that's when it happened. Yeah. Ginger walked up to little Tara, pulled out a Glock and blew its head off. At the dog park, yes. And I'm going, now hang on. We warned everybody. And you know, it is not easy to get a hound dog safety rules, to take the safety off. You know what it takes to take a hound dog to the shooting range and teach her? All of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. Yeah, Ginger, she's got all this stress now. Yeah. All right, nobody on this. All right, get me close. Hey, you have the 3-minute Novaro deal, right? I'm going to show you 3 minutes of a goodbye to Jean-Claude. This is one of the most valuable glass artists that ever walked the earth. And the funny thing is, everybody talks about Dale Chihuly, great artist. Wes Hunting, great glass artist. Jean-Claude Novaro, first artist ever to make glass glow at night. I'll be talking about that 500 years from now. This is a short 3-minute farewell to Novaro. Take a look at this. That kind of moon tonight. Super moon. Super blue moon. That's red.
I know. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. Forward me that. Okay. So, 1,200 on a Zax who keeps amazing everybody. But this last Novaro, call me up. Look at that. That is 22 or 24 karat gold laid on glass at 2,100 degrees. This was done in 2001. It is mouth blown, hand spun. It is one of the greatest Novaros you are ever going to see. Call me on the Novaro. Call me on Homage to Renoir by Zax. And of course, the one I am just shocked did not sell yet is right here, Wilson. Well, that's gonna fall off. Right there. Marcel Mouly with all those colors. Field me some offers because I'm lucky anybody's watching me on Wednesday night with all the travel arrangements people are making. That Marcel Mouly, $13,800 10 years ago. Signed and numbered by the late Marcel Mouly. Obviously, he signed it when he was alive. But call me. Ashley, field me some offers on, that is the most colorful Marcel Mouly. If you're only going to get one Marcel Mouly signed and numbered piece, this one right here, of an edition of only 100, beautifully framed, 30 by 40, call me. On the Novaro, it was $1,500 to open. You know, I'll sharpen my pencil. I'll turn on my calculator. Whether it's the Marcel Mouly, the Zax. You stay. I don't want any trouble with you, Mouly. I got a Zax, I got a Mouly, and I got a Novaro. Call me. Tell me what you're thinking. And I got to tell you, that Marcel Mouly, he keeps growing in popularity. He didn't make as much art as some of the other Cubism proteges. And Marcel Mouly added the color theory. That is amazing to see. A signed and numbered Mouly with that many vivid primary colors. It's unheard of. And there it is. It's 30 by 40 inches. It's number 70 of 100. 90 of 100 in the edition. We'll put up the graphics on the Marcel Mouly. And I have a Novaro, a Mouly. Mouly, M-O-U-L-Y. Call me. All right, someone's calling you, Ashley. Who is it? I went back on YouTube to watch that last time. I had to send out that telekinesis.
Oh, and you saw it?
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious. Right when
I'm still tired from doing it. I don't want to have to do that again. What are they saying to you guys? What do they need to know about the Zax? Besides that, the Zax has that exquisite frame. Is that Matt?
No, it was Guillermo.
It was what? Oh, that's Guillermo? Is Guillermo standing there? No, just curious. I just don't know if I have it in me, Guillermo.
It's a unique.
Yeah, this is a unique original Zax. And we'll go back to the Zax if you could. Look at that. That is stunning. Homage to Renoir. Done in 2023. I mean, this is stunning. I mean, this is one of the biggest deals I've ever been able to introduce people to. And I lowered that down, Ashley, to $1,200. I was talking to my son. Do you think I could? What's that?
2711.
2711.
For the Zacks.
Wilson, do you think, using all the skill and knowledge at your command, if you had to, could you live an entire year on $800? You wouldn't. You just give up and die?
No.
You have nothing for a year but $800. What are you going to do?
Food.
Yeah, you're going to need some food. However, you could get a job as a busboy. Then you can eat a lot of food when they throw it out. Who's thinking about this moolie? Tell me what you guys have on mind on the moolie. All right, I'll tell you what. I hate to do this. Folks, if anything tonight, I've done an awful job explaining Jean-Claude Novaro. Died December 30th, 2014. He is one of the greatest glass makers of all time. This technique of putting gold on glass the way he did, second to none. There are no Novaros available. They are in French probate between Virginie, Novaro's second wife, and Novaro's daughter of his first marriage. When they get that worked out, you're going to see Novaros go zooming. They already are. First man in the history of glass to make it glow at night. Here's what I'm going to do on this. Ashley, I got a secret price, and it is too cheap. I'm thinking, don't do it, Chappell, because you are up against one of the biggest travel days, but people won't call it like that. And you are giving away the last big landscape you have. And look how perfect that gold is. When you take a sheet of 22 karat gold and lay it on something that looks like honey, but it's not, it's 2100 degree glass, and to have it come out that royal, that almost looks like the sheen from the Pulp Fiction case when they opened it up. Look at that. Ashley, I got a price. Yeah, retail's $13,000. But I got a price right here, Ashley. It's so secret, I can only tell you when someone calls you. And, unfortunately, Ashley, you don't want to know this price. Like if you found out that price before somebody called you, it'd be up to Patty what happens to you. I got a top secret price. We are talking top secret. We're talking you cannot tell people you bought it this cheap. You can. Because if you tell too many people, they're going to throw me to, you know who? He works here every now and then. Guillermo Sanchez Escobar. I got a price. Has anybody called you? What's your offer?
On the Novaro and the Zacks.
Yes. For both? Melvin, hang on. I just got to get my defibrillator out, Melvin. I'm going to need a little shock here. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I can't do that, but what I can do. Oh, Melvin, I want to work you a great deal. All right. I'm going to do some of my Jethro Bodine sixth grade education. And what does Melvin think about the Marcel Mooly? Does Melvin own a Marcel Mooly?
Oh, let me see what the secret price is. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. What
On what?
You want him to come up?
Where is he for? I'm leaving this totally. Hang on. You know what? I am tired of being the bad guy when I don't need to. Melvin, I want you to watch this. Ashley, do you fully understand?
Tell him what you said.
All right, any decision on both. Do you have somebody for that?
Yeah.
Well, hang on, Melvin. Does Melvin want a Marcel Mouly? Oh, leave me hanging here. All right, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Ashley, I haven't heard this said since Tom Cruise in, what movie was that? What movie was that with Tom Cruise where his friend started making a house of ill repute at his home? Tom Cruise movies of the 1980s. Risky Business. Risky Business. All right, just like their parents said, Ashley, it's up to you. You work a deal with Melvin for the two pieces. It's totally up to you, Ashley. I'm not going to be the bad guy. Ashley, it's totally in your hands. Matt, are you watching this? She could single-handedly break Barry in the network right here. What do you say, Ashley? I'm going to assume Ashley's going to work a deal on those two. What? The Zax and the Novaro. I said it's up to you. You sell them?
The Zax is still available.
Did he buy this?
No, the Novaro. He took the Novaro.
Okay. The Zax is available, the Novaro is gone. Okay, now. You know what they say, Ashley? You don't know what they say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't get him to buy the right lottery tickets. Yeah, it happens all the time. I have a Zax, and I have one of the most valuable Cubist artists who lived and died. He died 2 weeks before his 90th birthday, Marcel Mouly. 30 by 40 framed, number 90 of 100 in the edition. It's a huge Marcel Mouly. And I can offer you this Marcel Mouly, even though here's a pig. He looks like Santa Claus before he died. Look at that. If I looked like that and I knew I was getting ready to die, Wilson, I don't think he knew he was getting ready to die. But if he thought he was, I'd die going down a chimney. Because he looks like Santa Claus. Look at that. How many people look like Santa Claus? Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. Marcel Mouly. Oh, I got a price. And I'm going to tell you flat out right now, I will never have a Marcel Mouly this colorful at these prices. They're $28,000, $30,000 for a signed and numbered Marcel Mouly from an edition this colorful. I'll tell you what, I had this up at $1,500. I got a new price on this. You got to call Ashley, Patty, or Juliet for the secret price. But you can't give it out unless they ask. And if Ashley gives out a price before she even knows it, you got to kick her in the shin. Yeah, real hard.
It's so secret that
It's so secret, we don't even know the price.
Yeah, you don't know the price yet because I haven't told anybody. That's why you got to ask.
They have to ask. Okay, they have them call in and then we'll find out. We'll all find out together.
Call. I got a secret price. This Mouly, and I never compete with customers ever since Robert Hallam of Stockton, California, Avenue Coins, told me never compete with customers. I don't. He told me that 31 years ago. I'm on my 33rd year. I was in my first year and he told me. And I haven't ever since. But this is one of the greatest Moulys. This would look good in anybody's house anywhere. It's a deluxe edition. They only did 100 of these. It's number 90 of 100. It is beautifully framed. And it's a 30 by 40. The Marcel Mouly. And I just want to show you something else. All right. Now, Wilson, the hand is not quicker than the eye. Ugh. Here is Marcel Mouly standing next to Pablo Picasso. The guy in the back is Pablo Picasso. The guy in the black shirt right below him is Marcel Mouly. One of the defining members of Cubism and color theory. So I have a Marcel Mouly and I have a Zax. And this Marcel Mouly is 30 by 40 and it is the most colorful Marcel Mouly I've ever seen. Which one are they interested in, Patty? Ashley, you got anybody? Wilson, I want you to be honest with me. I know you did some acid. What years were that you did the acid? 1969. It's probably out of your system by now. All right. Have you ever seen a zebra that was not in a zoo? No. Did you ever see a zebra that was not in a zoo? On what? No, in real life. Your parents didn't do that to you? Put somebody in a zebra suit that was supposed to be a horse suit and paint it black and white and say, Barry, this is Zanny the zebra, he came to your birthday? No, they didn't do that to you, huh? It started young with me. No one believes me.
Barry, it's regarding the Novaro that they just purchased, do you know the height of it? By any chance? When I was listening?
The one that we just sold?
The first one that I sold.
It was like 8.5 inches high or high. It was a beautiful round one. I can go measure it right now. Give me a second. I'm going to put the Marcel, stay now. All right, hang on. Who had, oh, there it is. They want to know. Hang on, it's more than 8. It's almost 9. It's 8 3/4.
Okay, thank you so much, Doug. I'll talk to you soon.
8 3/4. So, they were cruel, Wilson, cruel. You know, you people think I'm joking. But that was true. Little 9-year-old kid. Mom, can I have my friends over? Barry, you don't have any friends, and please stop calling me Mom. I was only 9, Wilson. 9. Then to blame me for a bottle of scotch falling. I mean, that is just cruel. All right, Ashley, who do you have on the line, Patty? Because this Marcel Mouly is an edition of only 100. It's number 90 of 100. It is beautifully framed. It is 30 by 40. A comparable price is $13,800, and I'm offering this at a really discounted price. I also have the Zacks. People have been so close on the Zacks. Let me play with the calculator here for a second. Oh, Melvin, you got the most beautiful fluorescent Novaro there. But anyway, hang on. Calculator. All right, clear that out. Ashley, I have 1 Zacks left and 1 Marcel Mouly. I must have done an awful job explaining Marcel Mouly, one of the founding 12 members of Cubism. All right, Ashley, on this Zacks, I got 20 minutes left. I got a price. You know what apraxia is, Wilson? What is apraxia?
It's like a stand-in.
A what? You can't say it. You can't speak. That's apraxia, right? Siri, what is apraxia?
Here's some information.
Apraxia is the loss of the ability to map out physical actions in order to repeat them in functional activities. By damage to the brain, which causes difficulty in the motor skills to perform tasks. Well, I know about that. You know how I know about that, Wilson? Because in 2012, that great drug Enbrel gave me Dame Bramage. Yes. It was hard dealing with Dame Bramage. All right. I got a price on this Zacks. All right, Ashley. This is so secret. I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell anybody. You call right now. Show them that is an original. It's homage to Renoir, Augusta Renoir. When did Augusta Renoir die?
Pierre-Auguste Renoir died December 3rd, 1919 at age 78 in Caen-sur-Mer.
Did Juliet have anything to do with his death?
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
later on when Juliet is not around me.
Thank you, Siri.
Miss, there's something else I can help with.
Bulletproof vest.
Here's some information.
A discount bulletproof vest. All right.
Here's what I found.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Patty, I'm going to tell you. On that Renoir. I don't want anybody else to know, so I am going to signal you. You can't watch. You got to turn around. Turn around. All right, thank you. She's trying to look. All right, you don't have to, she's not going to tell you. You cannot tell her the secret price. No, Patty's not going to tell you. I have lowered this to the point it is not worth me even, I'm giving it away. If you want that, it's not $1,500 to open, it's not $1,400 to open, it's not even $1,300 to open. Give me a call. And if you want the last Marcel Mouly, call me too. What did she say?
I don't think Siri likes you. She has like attitude with them. She has like this animosity towards you. Like, what do you tell her?
Yes, she does. I've noticed that.
She was like, She's like, okay, I gotta go.
Siri, be honest with me. Why don't you like me?
For the record, I think you're tops.
Your tops?
Tops.
Oh, nice.
Are you just saying that because you know I can shut you off?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
She didn't have time. She's lying. She's lying.
I can't go into it right now, Siri, but we'll continue this conversation later.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yada, yada, yada.
I found this on the web.
Pulls up Seinfeld, the yada, yada, yada. All right. I give up. I have... Look.
Yes.
Marcel Mouly is a very valuable artist. He died in 2008. Most of the Marcel Moulys you see signed and numbered look like this, Wilson. They are pure cubism with very bland colors. It's a great color scheme. So when you see a 30 by 40 framed Marcel Mouly, an edition of only 100, with that many primary colors, it's a takedown. And I started so cheap, but I keep lowering the prices. I have a Marcel Mouly left. I have two. I have this primary color 30 by 40 custom framed. I have studies, interior studies, 30 by 40.
It was your mother.
It's my mother?
Your mother. She was just like, never give up. That's supposed to be there. I said, yes. She still talks to him, Julia. I know, right?
Mom, are you watching me right now?
She said, never give up.
Well, hang on. Let me just see. Mom, if you're still watching, give me a call. Got a couple questions for you. Mere childhood curiosities. Yeah. But yes, I have homage to homage to Renoir, and I have two Marcel Mouly. And look, I cannot stress this enough. I am so lucky that somebody took this picture in 1951 or 53. Those are the original Cubists. Pablo Picasso right there. Marcel Mouly. All the other great Cubists. But Marcel Mouly, his great feat was using the color theory that enhanced the Cubism. Doesn't clash with it, doesn't take away, doesn't soften it. That's what made Marcel Mouly great. So when I have a 30 by 40 deluxe edition where one major outfit, I don't know who it was, decided we're only going to do an edition of 100 instead of 350, and to come out looking like this, Wilson, framed 30 by 40 inches. Retail 11 years ago was $13,800. And now you can have it for less than $1,500. Please give me a call. Hey, if my mom calls back, Ashley, tell her that she's not supposed to be driving on her suspended driver's license. She'll say, I'm only going a few miles. Here is interiors. Marcel Mouly, 30 by 40. So I have two Marcel Moulys. I'm going to have the frame pieces in here next week, but I lowered their price way down because I only had the picture. All right. I am down to 11 minutes. So who has been thinking about this? Hey, Ashley, did Melvin get a Marcel Mouly?
No.
How come? One of the best artists I'm offering. And I thank him for buying all those others and being so patient. Look at that. Homage to Renoir, but the Marcel Mouly. I'm going to walk over here and tell you something. Folks, Ashley, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you in your life?
I was alone in my computer room and I fell backwards in my chair.
That's not bad. You're alone in your computer room and you fell back. That's not embarrassing. Patty, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you? I'll tell you what. Let's see, that would have been 1980. I went to Snow Mountain, Georgia, because I was going to South Georgia College, and it was a field trip. And we went skiing there. And 12 or 13, the group went skinny dipping. And I got locked out naked in the snow. And it was cold. You know, George Costanza would say shrinkage. I mean, it was cold. But someone finally let me in. Yeah. Don't ever go skinny dipping unless you know how to get back into the hotel. Yeah, you're thinking about, which one are you thinking about, Ashley? You walked up here for a reason.
Someone just asked what it said above his signature.
What does it say?
Well, it says fragile. It's going to say fragile, but it looked like it said.
No. And that's not how you pronounce it anyway. It's fragile. What movie was that? Yeah. Fragile. And who's asking about that?
That was Mr. S.
Mr. S. Did Mr. He bought a Marcel Mouly, didn't he?
He did. No, that was Mr. H.
Mr. H. Mr. S, how come you didn't get a Marcel Mouly? They are so under any retail ever. I came prepared for the... People don't want to admit this is one of the biggest travel days. People are going away. A lot of pregnant women for Labor Day.
Oh my Lord.
Well, that's how my mom explained it to me. All right, somebody wants a deal. I have, look.
Melvin loves the frame too.
All right, Melvin, this piece is for you. Hang on.
He actually, I love it because he actually got splatters on the,
Yes.
you know?
What's that?
Zach's actually splattered.
Yes. Yes, I'll tell that to Melvin. Really?
Melvin.
All right, Melvin, this lady, lovely lady that Renoir painted a long time ago, and her cute daughter says they will love you.
Yes, me. Oh, they did say that.
You doubt me?
And they said never give up.
And they also said fragile.
Yeah, be fragile.
And whoever doesn't own, wait till I bring this in framed. This Marcel Mouly, 30 by 40, one of the founding 12 members of Cubism. And I lowered that down. People are paying $13,000 to $18,000 10 years ago for these. Not many even exist. They were sold out so long ago, they come up only on the secondary market. And I want to thank you. I got 5 minutes, 4 minutes. And I could do it. You don't believe me, Wilson, but I believe I'm a man of means. Not that I have means, but I can live by my wit. I could make it if I had to. I could live 1 year on $800 in my car. You don't think I could do that? I would get a job as a busboy, so I'd have plenty of food to eat. I would get a job at any kind of college, so they'd always let me go through the cafeteria. If I was smart, I'd try and be an HR of a dorm. Then I'd have a place to stay for free. Plenty of food. All right, you're right, I'm an idiot. Now, I only have 3.5 minutes left. I know Melvin is taking that Zax. Say it. Admit it, Ashley. Admit it. You got a Bic lighter? Patty, do you have a Bic lighter? Put her little pinky under a Bic lighter. Well, that will get her to talk. She's not talking. Ashley, are you here? Did Melvin take that Zax yet? He cannot go wrong with that piece. And folks, I have 3 minutes left. I have some wicked coins coming up next week, and hopefully we'll have some amazing. Oh, I'm working on the Olegs are going to be probably a month and a half away. But I got some cool stuff in the art sector working, but a lot of really cool coins. I think Ashley's going to go to Long Beach.
I am.
I don't know. Are you going to steal anything there?
He wants to know, he's trying to sell you this.
At a really good price. Peace and love. Oh, I got 2 minutes. On which one?
Do you want to try to
On the Zax? Only for Melvin. And don't tell anybody I sold you that cheap. You know why? They're going to start calling me an anti-Zaxite. They're going to be chasing me through the street, trying to paint graffiti on me. If Melvin tells anybody what he's getting that Zax for, I don't want to be an anti-Zaxite. Well, folks, you take care. I'll be back next Wednesday. Who's coming up? Today is Wednesday. Who's coming up tomorrow? Jack Jackals. Nobody's on Friday, right? Anybody on Saturday? Sunday? Okay. Well, folks, hey, we love you. My name's Barry Chappell. Thank you so much for watching me. I know it's a strange night out there. I'm seeing crazy things driving in here, and I'm used to crazy things. So when I see crazy things, it's like, wow, that's really crazy. Hey, we love you. Buford, don't kick that dog. Don't even think about kicking that dog. I've already talked to Matt and Ashley. You touch that dog again, Buford, we're going to give you the mark of the squeal. We're going to shave your head. Yes. Hey, you take. Would you shave his head if he hurts Buford? Thank you. We love you. I know you're going to take it, Melvin. It's got your name written on it. Bye. See you later.